what I've noticed is it seems like a lot of people are practicing how to escape the back. But one thing I don't see people do really well is stop the back attack from happening. Like they kind of wait for their back to get taken and then they work on the back escape from there. What I want to do is bulletproof my back. My goal is to never have my back taken, right? So how do I do that? One way I like to start practicing it is just from the gift wrap, because the gift wrap is going to be the most common position that you're going to get into where somebody's going to take your back, right? So for anyone who doesn't know what the gift wrap is, it's going to be basically Joe grabbing my wrist underneath my neck here and then grabbing his own wrist, okay? Now, a lot of the time what people are going to do is going to step over your body here, right? And then they're going to start like pulling you into a chair. This is the most common way that somebody's going to take your back, right? So there's a couple things I can do. Starting off with the most simple. As soon as Joe, go back just a step real quick. As soon as Joe goes to go in this chair sit, he puts his leg over my body. What I'm going to do is like pull my back away and put my back on the floor here, okay? This is going to be my first line of defense. Now, if Joe doesn't continue to try and pull me across his body, does not try to pull me across his body, he sits here, right? What I'm going to do is look to just peel this hand off if I can. Now bring my elbow to the inside as I start clearing this foot and just putting my head and back on the floor if I have to. If I feel stuck like I did right here, if I have to, I'll just grab his elbow, right, and start putting my back on the floor. Now that's the one that rarely happens, but it will happen if you do a really good job at stopping their initial pull, right? So what's going to happen more often than not is Joe's going to start, he's going to put his leg across my body. He's going to start pulling me across to the other side. So I'm going to do this in slow motion. I'm stopping Joe here so I can show it. But what I want to do is immediately get this hand, thumb inside underneath his ankle. So as he pulls me across his body, I can put his foot on the floor here, right? So now immediately what I want to do is get my hip and leg over the top of Joe's foot, and essentially, right, what I'm going to do is bring my elbow up and in like this, so if Joe starts like looking to put his other hook in, I can block him, right, and then from here, I can keep walking my hips out. Now from here, if I can just tuck my head and pop through, awesome. If Joe's really stuck to me, what I'll do is I'll look to slide my thumb in place right around where my chin and everything is, and I'll start pushing up, and I'm going to tuck my head to my ear as I drop my head to the floor. Now, he does have me in a Kimura trap, but usually if I can just walk my feet out and pull my arms straight, I should be able to clear that. If I feel like Joe has a really good grip, what I'll do is I'll actually come to the elbow and I'll push up on his elbow and I'll try to get my thumb inside. So now if Joe tries to push down and lock down on this Kimura, it's really hard to beat my arm straight. So again, I'm just going to pop my arm straight here. And then for me, like I might be able to scramble up, but the most important thing is getting my back to the floor and looking to recover. I never want to keep exposing my back, right? Back is the absolute worst position we can be in. So even if we end up in side control or mount or something like that, we're better off than having our back taken, okay? Now, a couple other dilemmas we might face when Joe starts to do that chair sit. He pulls us across, right? We go to remove this foot, and he does a really good job. He still gets this hook in, right? So what I want to do when he has this hook in is basically hide the ability for him to get his other leg in. So see what I'm going to do? I'm going to keep like bringing my elbow and hand in and hide this. Now, what I want to do is remove his bottom foot. There's a couple ways I can do that. Right now, like Joe's really high, so for me, I'm probably going to bring my elbow or my shoulder in, right? And I'm going to take my hand and do that same thing where I bring my hips out. And now, as I get over top of it, it's going to be the same, turning my hips up to the sky, okay? That's the first one. I do have to remember to constantly play with this defense, right? And catch Joe quickly and get back to here before Joe can put that other hook in, right? And he's also going to probably be looking to trap my arm, right? So I have to be cognizant of that. If Joe's looking to trap my arm, like I'm here, right? Looking to trap. Now, when we reset, look what happened. I got a little higher up and see where his foot is. This is a perfect example of where I can use my foot instead of my hand. So there's two ways I can do this. I can take my foot behind, push forward, bring my hips back, bring my knee inside, do the same thing, okay? Another one is also, if you can't get your foot behind, stomp on the foot. Now again, it's a little bit harder to pull my knee here, so I'm going to quickly foot back, knee up, right? See that? Down and up. I don't want to allow him to get that hook in. This elbow still staying tight to my body. And again, back to the floor, going back to that same escape. All right. The last one I'm going to show is if we're in a little bit deeper and this guy starts to set up his choke. Okay. Now let's say he took my back. He was able to get, we were able to get here. And maybe he starts to get that second hook in. A couple things that are going to be important is staying super balled up and super tight, trying to keep an elbow inside of his leg so I can keep his leg off, and bringing my knee close to me, okay? Now, if I can do this, awesome. Right now I can stay tight. If Joe completely beats me here and gets his foot in, basically what I can't allow to happen is him pull my chest and back, or sorry, my back up and get extended. So as this comes in, I'll reach down for it immediately and remove this hook. I'm going to get back to this tight position, okay? People are going to ask, what happens if Joe starts to look for the choke from here? Okay, if Joe starts punching his choke, what I'm going to do is immediately bring my head to my ear and tuck my chin. This will start to stop his choke. Now, it's not going to stop it forever, right? And Joe might look for a deep grip. What's going to happen is I'm going to be looking like up and into the choke. Happens a lot when people get crossfade choked as they look down and their chin gets stuck and now their face gets ripped across. I want to be looking up and into the choke here, right? And now I can do two things. If Joe is still holding on to this as he's attacking my neck, right? I'm going to remove this quickly, and then I'm going to try and get my hands inside. As Joe goes to start attacking my choke, I'm going to push up here, reach down, and again, same escape, scraping my back to the floor, getting my hips out. Now, one thing I didn't talk about earlier is anytime I do scrape my hips out, I am putting my back on the floor immediately, and then from there, if I can win like a leg or win top, I will, but don't be here and start getting up and get your back retaken. Get yourself out, elbow between us, and then from here, look to start escaping. That's just one small detail I didn't go over earlier, okay? But again, with the choke, it's looking to choke me here. What I want to do is look down, bring my shoulder to like my ear here, and now for this one, let's say he starts just immediately going for it, so I don't have to remove. What I want to do is start blading like my hips up, bringing my shoulder, and immediately get my thumb underneath here. Now, guys, if somebody is really attacking this, it's going to be super uncomfortable. But Joe can squeeze really hard here. The more I turn into him, the more he can't choke me. Now, I may get a bloody lip, and it may be super uncomfortable, but as long as I can keep my shoulders bladed, Joe can squeeze all day long, and I should be able to push his elbow off and get my back to the floor, right? The biggest thing I don't want is my face getting turned this way. Now Joe can squeeze super hard, and I'm going to tap, right? I really need to here. Now Joe can squeeze all day long, and I can just get my head out, right? So those are kind of the basics to stopping someone from attacking my back. Now, I'll do another video on actually escaping the back, body triangles, and stuff like that. This is prior to them actually establishing control. Perfect. Thank you.